How's it going, everyone? We're here for a huge Rust update. It is the World 2.0 update, and we've got a lot of different things. So I wanted to go ahead and cover the kind of simple stuff up front, and then we'll jump into looking at the new world and new items. So wallpapers have a small change, but it's a big one. You can now actually put wallpaper on building block hard sides, but only on the inside of a base. So you can't put wallpaper on the outside of a base, but any of the hard side walls in your base can be wallpapered now. So that is actually really nice. And then also exposed hard sides will decay on ticks, so that's how that goes. They've also improved the spray can. It will now remember the container color through deaths and restarts, which is really nice. Notes have a world model. The underwater visibility has been fixed, which we will show you. It's much better, I think. And especially when you're wearing the diving goggles. And repair bench now displays the icons of the items alongside what you need to repair, which is quite nice. Then we also have some Twitch drops coming up next week. It's going to be charitable Rust again. So you will be able to pick up a couple items in the item shop to put towards the charity. And then there's going to be the Twitch drops as well. So that is really cool. You've got the store items and the generic drops here. And I'll be doing a video showing them off next week when we get closer to the actual event. So that's what it's going to be. Rust is also 40% off. So that is really nice. The Steam Point store now has some other items for you, so you can head out there and check it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you are someone who makes maps, they did put a little warning here for you at the end, so that's something you may want to check out. But let's go ahead and jump in game and see the actual stuff we got. So starting with the world stuff, the main thing you're going to notice is rock formations have changed, cliffs have changed. There's just a very big difference. I mean, look at this crazy massive rock, and do you guys remember it? Yes, you probably do if you played Rust a long time ago. This used to be a very favorite thing to build in and around and on, and it's a little bit different this time around, but I think a lot of people would be happy to see it return. And along with it, you can see we've got the triple threat anvil rock setup going on right over here, which is very cool. And just the terrain looks so much more different. And if we go ahead and float over here, you can see the coastal rocks have changed, and they're different depending on the biome. You can see they're like a lighter sandstone, then over here they're more of a dark kind of, basalt looking kind of thing. And yeah, that's just really different. And look, there's the arch rock. The arch rock is back. I mean, oh, look, an arch rock next to an arch rock. That's crazy. This is so nice. The cliffs are very much more climbable now. You're not going to be sliding. Well, I picked a bad spot, so that's a bad example. But as you can see, you're not really sliding on them. You can jump as long as it's a place that you can jump up. And here we go. The side worked a lot better. And there we go. So I think that is quite an improvement. I mean, they're always working on improving everything because these devs are awesome that way. But there we go. I mean, that is a big improvement to it. And I mean, with all these, we also have brand new formations with things such as the Oasis, which we've actually got one literally right over here. So we'll drop on by it, and yeah, this is just such a cool little spawn. And there's several different kinds that can spawn. They'll have different kind of configurations. You can see that they have a nice little miniature lake covered in all sorts of little plants and stuff to look green, and it's just that beautiful kind of oasis. And you'll see that the water can get decently deep in some areas, but this one is very buildable. And there should usually be some ore spawns around it, as well as barrel spawns that will pop up. And it looks like the barrels might just not be populating right now right here. But there you have it. This is an oasis. And along with this, we also have canyons and new rivers. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of that. All right, so with rivers, you should be able to see that the map has more kind of lakes and so forth. Like there's this one right here, and it's just inland. And we've got, look, another lake right here. And then you've got rivers, and the rivers should continue a lot better. This system is actually really poor on the one I have right here, but we can take a look at an actual new river and kind of how it's working. And this map just generated bad, but trust me, they are pretty well done now. They're much better. So you'll see that this one starts here. You've got the waves coming in from the ocean. The water is flowing nicely that direction very clearly. And we just have this beautiful little river cruising on through. And then when it comes to a road, it kind of just flows under, so to say. I think eventually we have bridges or something else coming to fix that up a bit, but it still goes and continues along. Unfortunately, you know, you can't really do anything with a boat in this shallow of water anyway, so that doesn't really matter. The road is there. You would have been stopped before it. But you can see it really kind of shallows out and just kind of turns into a trickle up here. And yeah, I think that's actually really cool. It really looks a lot more like an actual river, which is quite nice. All right, and then over here we have this kind of ravine that forms into a lake. So you can see like these are all the old water sources, and it kind of like dried up here, but you can see the path of the stone that's been washed away, as there used to be a river that flowed to this lake here. And there we go. So here's one of the lake designs. And as you can see, it has this really nice kind of circle around it, and of cliffs. And then if we come around this side, it's more like a hill with trees on the side. And there's just some really beautiful things really around these nice little majestic lakes. They will spawn boats, and it does get decently deep. You can see there's fish, so you could set up your own little fishing house and so forth, which would be quite fun. And yeah, so I mean, it's a new buildable area, and I think a lot of people are going to kind of enjoy building lakeside. Alright, and one of the other new things is going to be canyons, and as you can see, this is really neat. It's just all sorts of rocky terrain. There's an arch rock right up on here on the side of it. You got all these trees around the edges. There's even trees in nodes. I mean, the possibilities of building a base deep into this and then building up all around it, it sounds very interesting. But then you also have to deal with the problem of people being able to shoot down on you constantly. So, I mean, does the extra protections from the rock walls help, or does it really just make people focus straight down on your base? I mean, who knows? We'll just have to see the new strategies that people come up with for this. But the canyons are just absolutely amazing looking. Alright, another thing that changed in the World Gen is going to be the water wells, and they're pretty easy to see on the map now. You'll notice that they're connected to the dirt roads. There should be one going through them. You'll see I have another one, yep, marked up here. So you see they kind of have this little blotch, and it should be pretty easy to kind of seek them out. And you might want to in early game now. You'll see they have a pretty cool little overhaul. It's like an actual little protected building now. And that's because there is a custom vendor that lives in here. So if you look around, and there should be some crop plots, so you can actually, you know, if someone else hasn't, you can harvest some stuff. And the plants, I believe, do come back when loot does. And then if you head all the way upstairs, you'll find our little friend up here with his cool little outfit and everything, and he'll sell you various things. And as you can see, this is what this guy has, but some of them can even sell teas and some other stuff like that. And there's, oh, yep, food caches lying around where you can actually get teas out of as well, which is really cool. So you definitely want to check for those. There's also a hobo barrel, so you can cook stuff if you want to while you're hanging out here. Do keep in mind, it is not a safe zone, so people can kill you while you're hanging out in here. So do keep that one in mind. But yeah, there we go. Water wells have a little more purpose other than just the water now. All right, and we've got a new monument for you, and it's not really completely new, but it is the redesigned Radtown from Legacy. And yeah, they just did a really good job on this, and you'll see it shows up on the map as Radtown. It should be right down the middle of a road somewhere in the green, typically. And, well, let's go ahead and fly around, take a look at it. People who played Legacy should instantly see the layout, but it has so much more depth with the buildings and everything going on around with it here. And it is just really beautifully recreated, and there's a lot of different spaces. I mean, you've got up here with like a little shooting galley, then inside this building, so it's gonna be this big building. You go down here and you head into the back, and there's going to be a door you open, and boom, there's recycler. So you've got a recycler in here, and there's kind of just various small, devices. You've got a little heater going on in here, heating fan. I mean, this entire little place has little secrets everywhere. There's wood here and there. There's boxes. You've got some food boxes, some brown boxes. There's food laying out in the open, and there's just all these little various nooks and crannies for everyone to explore. And I just really look forward to seeing the kind of fun people have here. Hopefully people come here to PvP. I think it'd be a fun little place to kind of do that. I mean, there's a lot of different places you can hide out. There's a ladder right here, cloth ladder up to the roof. You've got another little gap you could shoot through once you come up here with the loot up here. I mean, there's a lot going on with it. Alright, and something else that this Radtown brings to us that's brand new is going to be irradiated water. So if you go ahead and take a look at resources, you'll see radioactive water now is a thing. That's what this little symbol is. And yeah, if you drink it, it's very bad for you. That's not a good idea. So also, if you are carrying too much of it on you, so we're actually, well, we should go somewhere where there isn't radiation. Let's see, we'll come out here, and we're gonna drop this on the ground, and we're gonna take off our hazmat suit. So you can see, we're fine, right? So now we're gonna pick up one, oh, 2 jugs, and we are rapidly dying. Now, another thing to keep in mind is not only does this affect you, but if you die and someone starts looting your body with this in it, they will start taking rad poisoning. So, and it's just them simply being in your body. They don't have to pick it up. So that is something to very much so keep in consideration. And as you can see, that is going nutso there. So, that's basically it. I mean, you can do a lot with this. You can go ahead and grab a bucket and literally splash it on somebody, and they'll start to get radiation poisoning. You can take a bucket and pour it on anyone's crops that are exposed and not protected, and it kills crops instantly. And if you go ahead and dump some of this into someone else's water source somehow, it can taint it. So, I mean, you can set up sprinklers that are on a sensor, and when someone gets into your base and triggers the sensor, it starts spraying radiation poisoning all over people. So this could actually be used as a new type of trap if you set it up right. So there's a lot that can be done with this, and I'm excited to see what people come up with. Alright, so let's take a look at some of the new items. And, well, first up, we've got a new permanent item shop item for you. And if you don't know what the permanent item shop is, it is exactly what it sounds like. They're items that will permanently be in the shop of Rust, which means if you buy it, you own it forever, you can't trade it, etc. It's just a purchase if you want it for yourself. So, you know, don't go buying a bunch by mistake thinking you can trade them. But if you want to buy a bunch to support the developers, then that's a different story. But as you can see, there's physics to all the little stuff that flops around, like the pelts and pouches and so forth. It's really nice. Then it also comes with a hatchet skin, which also has some physics stuff going on with its little dangle right there in the poker chip. And then lastly it comes with a double barrel skin, the Blunderbuss. So yeah, it used to be called Blunderbuster on the patch notes and stuff, but here it is. It isn't a new weapon, it is just a very awesome DB skin that comes in this pack. So if you want to see more about this, you can go ahead and check out my video on skins. But some people are new and don't know how to change a hazmat. So if you go ahead and put, if it's a default hazmat skin, you just put in here and it will show you all the hazmat skins you own. And there you go. Boom, you're done. And you're back at it again. So there we are. Now, let's get to the actual, real, brand new items that we have. And first things first is going to be this revolver right here. You'll see that the high caliber revolver costs $125 to research. It's a workbench level 2. If we go ahead and pull it out there, you can see it's this very welded, cobbled together, beautifully done pistol. Once again, I believe this is all Tom's work, and looks really, really great. I love these rusty things in Rust. It's look at that trigger even. I mean, come on, show the trigger again. There we go. It's a bent screw. Like, I just love it. So anyways, this thing actually uses, believe it or not, 5.56. And look at that speed loader. Oh, that's such a cool animation. And that's about its fire rate. So you got that there. I wasn't holding the mouse back or anything. That is, here's the recoil. No holding mouse back. And I think we only grabbed what ammo was in it. So there we go. Let's go ahead and reload that again. You gotta keep loving that speed loader. And we're gonna do, we'll aim down sights. That's gonna be a recoil there. So as you can see, it is a 6 shooter. And if we look at stats, it does about 65, accuracy of 5, recoil is 18, as you saw. Fire rate 86, it is very slow, which you also saw, but it has some incredible range on it. Now, it can only be equipped with certain accessories, so it's going to be sights and then flashlight and laser. That is it. None of the other stuff is going to work with it. No silencers, no barrel attachments, and of course the new gas compressor thing doesn't work on it here. So, where are they on the workbench tree? Well, level 2 is going to be where you want to go, and it's actually a branch off of learning 5.56. Look at that, very interesting. So you got to do HV pistol, and it is after Python, but I mean, it technically, this thing's shooting 5.56. It's a powerful beast, and I think that's actually pretty cool. And then we also have the DPV coming in, and you'll see that it sits right here under battery. So that's where that one's going to be. So if we go ahead and, whoops, wrong bench, throw it on in here, you'll see it costs 75 to research it directly. And if we go ahead, take a look at it here, it just says personal underwater, not much else for a description. You are going to need yourself some fuel. And if we go ahead and take a look at crafting, we can do, oh no, dive. Yep, okay, type in dive. There it is. It's going to cost you a tech trash and 15 high qual, and as you saw, it's on workbench level 2, which is where we were sitting there. And then if we go ahead and head on over to weapons and take a look at the high caliber revolver, it's going to be 4 pipe, a metal spring gear, and 6 high qual. So it is kind of up there in the price, more to say, but I mean, this thing's powerful. I can't really wait to see what people do with this, and yeah, I think that's going to be pretty neat. So let's go and fly on over here and check out the DPV. So you're basically going to plop yourself down by some water. Once the water is deep enough, you'll see, or it's a valid position, it's placeable. It will float. Oops. And it will give you messages if it doesn't like it right there. So let's go out a little further. Okay, now we can mount it. Or if we... Whoops. Got to come around to the front. There we go. Fuel storage. I was trying to hold E and it doesn't work. You'll notice it only holds 100. Most things do actually carry 3, so that's a little bit of a difference there. And you'll also know that as I picked it up and put it back down, it lost durability. This, of course, can be repaired with metal frags. Oh, sorry, high quality. That they changed that as well too. My bad. So high qual. So not too much high qual, but you do need high qual. Once you go ahead and mount it, you can press W to power it on. And shift is going to be up. Control will be dive. So it works pretty much just like the submarine. You'll probably want to have on an air tank, unlike me right now, because you are going to definitely suffocate. But we're in admin mode, so that doesn't matter. As you'll see, it shows the miles per hour, and the battery kind of line right there, that is going to be how much fuel you have left. And you can see we're descending, descending, descending. And let's cruise on. Let's try to hit our highest speed. And it seems to cap out just below 20 or so, I believe. Are we going to go over? Yeah, see, it seems to stick around the 20s. 21, 22, 21, 22, 23. Are we capping out at 23? Alright. And you can see we already went through about a bar of fuel right there. So that kind of just shows you how this fun little guy works. And I think a lot of people have fun with this. It does kind of make a bit of a, like, lawnmower-ish noise, even when in idle. So it is decently loud. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, you can't quite sneak up silently, but you can definitely move around faster, and this will be great for the new dive sites, which we will be showing you here shortly. Alright, and one of the other cool things added back into the world here is going to be the legacy wood piles that are just laying around. And instead of the ones where you just walk up and press E and get a little bit of wood, this is a legit pile that you can hit, and you get a pretty decent amount of wood from them. And yeah, they'll just be laying around in the world. You can walk up and harvest them, and it's just nice to have a couple more wood options around and to see something pop back in for nostalgia's sake from Legacy. Alright, so as I mentioned, there's the dive sites, and I just want to show that the seaweed has actually been updated on everything, so you can actually see there's a lot more kind of like marine life things going on with the floating platforms. But you've got the same thing with the buoys. There's various different kinds, like as you can see, this one's kind of floating on a life preserver. There's ones that are floating on tires and so forth. And if we go down into water, you'll see visibility is actually quite a bit better than it used to be. But we can also equip goggles, and it is way better. Look, we can actually see the bottom right here. And if we cruise on down to this one, you'll actually notice that it is basically a rock formation. And yeah, if we go ahead and take a jump over, we'll take a look at a few other ones, but there's quite a few different variations that you can actually find. As you can see, there's these really cool new buoys. They have a bunch of seaweed on them. They're made of like floating rubber, and then you've got this little beacon here. You can see there's some more off there in the distance. And yeah, these are just a better marker than what used to be of that, you know, the little bottles and so forth. So you'll also notice that water visuals are actually quite a bit better than they used to be, especially if we get our diving mask on. You can see a lot further. So we're going to attach to our little friend up here. Oops, not fuel. Come on. Mount. And we're at our dive site, and we are going to descend. got some sharks. So yeah, expect sharks at these new dive sites. That is definitely going to be a thing. But look, we've got containers, and there's various different things that can show up, and we're just going to go into flight mode here so the shark can stop annoying us. But yeah, you can see then there is going to be loot boxes that you can untie around. There's a little crab. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going on. It's just so much more alive, and you really have to kind of look around for the loot boxes more. And there's just various different versions of these. So we'll actually go ahead and fly up. Oh, and there's a cargo ship. And we can head on down. Let's see, this one's containers. Looks like that one's also containers. So let's maybe go a little further. Let's see what this one is. This one's a rock formation. So here you can see it's like a nice little rock formation. Goggles definitely make a huge difference the deeper down you are. And definitely beware, most of these are going to have sharks. But that does it, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all enjoy your fresh wipe.